Hello again, fourth graders and fourth grade families. This is Mr. Christofferson jumping on here to show you another option for math practice as we continue our remote learning. If you watched the previous video, you saw me demonstrate how to use the area model with division. And this video is going to be focusing in on how to use the area model of multiplication and also another multiplication strategy, which would be partial product. These two strategies are very closely related, and so we're going to talk about both of them on this video and kind of see the similarities. So I'm going to start with area model of multiplication. And for this particular question, we are going to be doing a two-digit number times a two-digit number. So as you can see, I have 47 times 34. And one of the really important ideas with the area model of multiplication is to break numbers down by their place value. And so when we're thinking about that, I'm going to start with the number 47. One of the tricks that we've been talking about in room C5 is how we can break apart a number, how we can break down a number. And the strategy or the trick that we've been using is pretending like we're running in slow motion and saying the number slowly. And when we do that, we'll hear two very distinctly different numbers. So with 47, we would hear 47. So I heard a 40 and I heard a 7. Essentially, this is saying that this 4 in the tens place has a value of 40, and the 7 in the ones place has a value of 7. We can do that again with the number 34. And again, if we say it slowly, 34, the two numbers we hear are 30 and 4. It's looking at the value of the digit in each place value. So now that I've broken apart my two numbers by their place value, I want to set up my area model. And similar to area model for division, this is going to be done by creating a box. Oftentimes, this strategy is referred to as the box method, the square method. Its official math name is area model, but kids might refer to it as a different name. So starting with the number 47, because I have two values that I need to account for, I'm going to separate the box in half. And it gives me a place to draw 40 and 7. And with the number 34, I need two places to account for 30 and 4. And it doesn't matter if you use the left side of the box or the right side of the box, just as long as you have one on the top and one on a side. And so we'll put 30 over here and 4 down here. Just like you would read a multiplication grid, when we think about how to fill in these 4 boxes, we're going to be looking at where the intersection is of these two values. So in this top right box here, I'm going to be doing 7 times 30. 7 times 30. And I know that 7 times 3 is 21. And because there's 1 0 in the number 30, I can add 1 0 to the end of my answer. So 7 times 30 is 210. Looking down at the box right below, I kind of like to imagine like a kind of going like down and over and looking to see where these digits intersect. So I have 7 times 4 in this bottom right hand box. And I know that 7 times 4 is 28. Moving to this top left box, I have 40 times 30. So I'm kind of doing this like down and over motion, down and over. And I know, so in this box here, I'm going to be multiplying 40 times 30. And I know that 4 times 3 is 12. There's 1 0 in 40, and there's 1 0 in 30. So I know that 40 times 30 is 1,200. And finally, in this last box here, I'm going to use that same down and over motion, and I have 40 times 4. 40 times 4. And I know that 4 times 4 is 16. And there's 1 0 in 40. And there isn't a 0 in 4. So I know that 40 times 4 is 160. So here I have my area model filled out. And to get a final answer, we want to make sure that we are adding all 4 of what we call our partial products. And we'll see those over here in just a moment. I always like to kind of organize my numbers from greatest to least. So I have 1,200. I have 210. Really taking my time to line up my place values. 160. And 28. And now that I have my 4 partial products, I'm going to add those values together. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is just 8. 0 plus 1 is 1. Plus 6 is 7. Plus 2 would be 9. 2 and 2 make 4. Plus another 1 would be 5. And then just a 1 in the thousands place. So 1,598. And if we take a moment just to look back up at this equation that we started with, parents, if you're thinking about kind of like the old school way or the standard algorithm that we have learned or that we were taught, we have 4 times 7, 4 times 40 over here. We have 30 times 7 over here, and we have 30 times 40. So now I'm going to demonstrate what this looks like in the partial product method, and we'll kind of be able to see some comparisons or some similarities as we progress. So I'm going to start by rewriting the equation. 47 times 34. Now, two important concepts to remember with partial product is we want to make sure that we record the values of each of these digits. Very similar to what we did over here. So the value of this 4 is a 4. It's just a 4 in the ones place. The value of the 7 is 7. The value of this 4, it's a 4 in the tens place. So we think of it as having like 4 10 sticks, which would be 40. And the value of this 3 would be 30. So that's step 1, is recording the values of each digit. The second important thing to remember with partial product is this kind of idea of dropping everything. Typically with our standard algorithm, we'd be doing 4 times 7 is 28. We would drop an 8 and carry it 2. With the partial product strategy, we're not going to be dropping the 8 and carrying the 2. We refer to it as kind of dropping everything. I'll show you what that looks like. So here we have, we're going to break it down into 4 smaller equations. Sorry about that. So I have 4 times 7 is 28. That would be these two numbers. Then I want to be looking at 4 times 40. There's my 0. And I know 4 times 4 is 16. Then thinking about, what color am I using here? 30 times 7. I know I'm going to have 1 0 in my answer, and 3 times 7 is 21. And last but not least, we have 30 times 40. Here I'm going to have 2 zeros, 1 0 from 40, 1 0 from 30, starting at the right to really make sure I line up my place value. And 3 times 4 is 12. So we see the 160, the 28, the 210, and the 1,200. And just like last time, we're going to add up those 4 partial products. We have an 8. 2 and 6 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then just the 1 in the thousandths place. So that's 2 different multiplication strategies that students can practice. It is a big part of 4th grade is 2-digit times 2-digit multiplication. Both of these strategies can be used for 4-digit times 1-digit, 3-digit times 3-digit. You would just adjust the amount of boxes or the amount of partial products that you have. So 4th graders who are watching this video, challenge yourself to a level that's comfortable to you. Think about, again, using dice or playing cards or having a sibling give an equation to you or a parent picking some numbers for you. And yeah, I hope that's something that you can practice on our time at home doing remote learning. Thank you.